Welcome back to my channel, everyone. My name is Tithi, and today's video is going to be less cinematic and more vlog. Means I'm gonna talk a lot. Today is Makar Sankranti, and like any other Bengali households, we are cooking a lot of pitha, puli, patishapta, all kinds of Bengali sweets. And I thought I'm gonna take you along as I do that. I feel like the base to cooking any kind of Bengali sweet or pitha puli is essentially 5 major ingredients. And these ingredients are milk, rice flour, jaggery, scraped coconut, and suji. That's my daughter. I think traditionally one would use either patali gur or nolen gur. I don't have access to those, so I'm just using this sad little packet and hoping that my pitha will turn out at least edible. So what we're gonna do now is to prepare all the base ingredients, and starting with reducing the milk. And it's very important because that becomes the base to so many other sweets that we're gonna do today. So as the milk is simmering away, and it's gonna take some time, at least an hour, to reduce down, I'm gonna start prepping up the Okay, I'm back in focus. Yeah, so I'm gonna start prepping up the scraped coconut mixture, which is mixed with jaggery, a little bit of sugar, and yeah, that's it. So basically, just mix everything all together: jaggery, scraped coconut, a little bit of ghee maybe, and just create like a goopy mixture that can be given some sort of shape, which I'll show later. So as the milk is simmering away, and it's gonna take some time, at least an hour, to reduce down, I'm gonna start prepping up scraped coconut mixture, which is mixed with jaggery, a little bit of sugar, and yeah, that's it. Ghee is pretty hot now, so I'm just gonna dunk all of these scraped coconut in the kadai. Now we're taking the jaggery powder and just pouring generous amount of it onto the coconut mixture. Now you might be asking what's the proportion to it. I have no clue. I just use how much ever I feel when I'm looking at it is sufficient, and just go by that gut. One way to check it would be to taste it. Just keep tasting a little bit and see if the sweetness is enough. If not, just add in more jaggery, add in more sugar. See how it's becoming lumpy and a little bit of a gritty? That's exactly how you want it to be. At this point, if you want, you can add a little bit of milk as well to adjust the consistency of it. I, however, like it this way. I feel every house sort of does it in a different way. They make pitha in a different way. They learn how to make pitha in a different way. So feel free to go crazy, experiment. Don't be afraid to try new things, This is how I make it. This is more convenient for me living in an urban setting. I'm sure if I was back in village and back in my ancestral house, I would see my grandmother scraping the coconuts. I would see my aunts sort of making this mixture. I would see my cousins me and my cousins running around trying to steal some of it even before it's made. These are all the core memories I have growing up, and I really miss that living here. So I'm just doing as much as I can, and I really want my daughter to have some part of it, And every time I think about it, I get very emotional and nostalgic. We don't really have
that much of access here. It's really weird when I say that, because I feel like we have a ton of access. It's just that we still don't have the access. Yeah, we still don't have the access to all of this. We just have access to our memories. We rely on that and do whatever we can to preserve it.
So I think the coconut mixture is done. I think it is done. It looks good to me. This, however, is gonna take way longer time, right? So until now, it was put on sim, lower flame, but I think I'm just gonna increase the flame now and try to expedite the process, because this thing is done. I'm just gonna switch it off. Yeah, this thing is already done. I've switched it off, and yeah, I'm gonna focus on this, because once this mawa is done, which we call kheer, by the way, the Bengali definition of kheer, I feel, is nothing but reduced milk, which may or may not have sugar in it. So yeah, just focus on this, reduce the milk. Then the next course of action is going to be making the dough for the pita, making the dough and the batter, and then basically make it. Okay. So as you're reducing the milk, right, you'll see all of these milk solids sort of sticking to the side. You have to keep scraping them. That's where the good part is, Just keep scraping them, mixing them back to the milk, and yeah, in some time, hopefully, it's gonna take at least another 1 hour. You'll start seeing that it's become thicker.
I'm actually preparing all of this in the lunchtime. We already have leftovers from last night, so just heating up the food, gonna eat, finish lunch in between, and then come back. Okay, I'm back. This batter for patishapta is essentially made up of, the maida, little bit of suji, rice flour. So rice flour and the maida will go 1:1 ratio, and you are gonna put a little bit of suji. You can skip that as well. I've seen my mom make it without suji, and it turns out perfectly fine. And yeah, you need to add jaggery or chini or sugar based on your preference, and make like a very thin batter out of it, right? So yeah, this is maida. Then we're gonna put chalar guro, which is rice flour, and a little bit of rava. That's it. I've already mixed the jaggery, and I think we are good to go. So traditionally, I think the rice flour that we're using here would be homemade, and by homemade I mean that I actually see my grandmother using an instrument. I don't know what you call it. We call it ghail in Bengali, at least in my dialect. I have no clue what you call it in actual Bengali, like the different dialect of Bengali, the West Bengal dialect of Bengali. But I'm gonna put a picture. तो उसको लेके ऐसे ऐसे कूटते थे, and that's how we would get the chaler guro, which is nothing but rice flour. But yeah, we live in modern times, so we're just gonna use the store-bought one. Anyway, so this is the kind of batter consistency that you want for your patishapta batter. I know there are many people who make it even thinner than that, but I'm not an expert. For me, this consistency works for me to spread it out thinly. It's almost like a crepe batter. So now we have the batter, we have the kheer, and we have the nariyal ka paste. Whatever you want to call it. It's the coconut filling. Let's make some patishapta. I'm taking a dosa pan to make my patishapta. I feel like any non-stick pan works well. Okay, so our patishaptas are ready, and I still have some batter left. I think this is a bit too much for a family of 4, so I'm not making more patishaptas. So I'm just gonna utilize the same batter, add more things to it, and make a batter for malpua. For the ingredients, I feel it's pretty much the same as the patishapta batter. It's just that instead of making it too runny, now you gotta make it a little bit more thick and add more of the coconut mixture that you made. You can also add kheer if you want. So I'm starting by adding the rava. Again, don't ask me for measurements. This is not a recipe vlog. I'm just taking along. I'm gonna stop pouring it when I hear my sisters say, "Stop it." Okay, I think that's enough. I'm gonna add the rice flour. Now, ये थोड़ा ज़्यादा जाता है, I guess. I don't know. Based on how I've seen my mom making malpua, I've always seen her add a little bit more rice flour than the maida. And suji also compensates. So I guess, yeah, that's it. That's enough. Now comes the maida. Three big spoons, I would say, based on the quantity of rice flour that I've taken. Jaggery. Again, this is as per your taste, I would say. स्वाद अनुसार, जितना डालना है डालो. And I'm also gonna mix some of these. This has turned out so well, by the way. It's just little crunch of the coconut that we like when you are biting into the malpua, I would say. Okay, that's it. Now to this mixture, I'm gonna add water. Okay. And now you have to mix everything together. Mix, mix, mix. You can also add mashed banana into it. I used to see my mom add mashed banana, especially when bananas were going to waste, like the mushy ones. You can use this recipe to sort of repurpose those bananas, and it's just yummy. Okay, now I feel the batter is of the right consistency. Yeah, it's still runny, but it's not that runny. It's a little goopy, it's a little put together, and hopefully it will not lose its shape when I'm deep frying them. Now we just have to deep fry it. The oil is pretty hot now. Okay, so this is the last malpua. I also wanted to make puli pita, but then I realized I have very little maida with me. So maybe tomorrow, and maybe I'll vlog it, but if not, I already have quite a bit of sweets. Malpua. And then patishapta. So I'm just gonna go enjoy with my family and happy Bihu, happy Sankranti, happy Onam, and all the other harvest festivals to everyone who is celebrating. And if you like my channel, please like, share, and subscribe.